What's up, peeps? Talking about some of the main moments from Backlash. Let's get into it. Randy Orton versus John Cena. We're going to start off with that one. Of course, we had some of the main moments, and of course, they recreated that moment from years ago when John Cena went for the AA and Randy Orton did the RKO instead, which I was able to actually call it just prior to it happening. But it was not enough to put John Cena down. John Cena did use the AA at multiple times in the match. He did use the AA. Orton tried to do the punt. John Cena reversed it into the AA, but it was not enough to keep Randy Orton down. John Cena tried a punt of his own, which Randy Orton dodged it, tried to go for the RKO, but then got pushed into the referee accidentally, and the referee was down. The referee got back up for like a second, and they accidentally bumped into him again, which was kind of crazy. Then they just started brawling everywhere. Randy Orton was able to hit an AA onto John Cena through a wooden table as well as onto the announce table. Eventually, another referee was able to come out there, and John Cena used that title belt to the face. But Randy Orton dodged it, and he accidentally knocked out the second referee, which Orton was able to connect with an RKO seconds later, but it doesn't matter because there's no referee to count it. All the guards come out there. You guys know I call them guards. They come out there to come check on the referee. Randy Orton gets upset, and he starts RKOing all of the guards, including Nick Aldis. And then Orton tries to go for another punt. I had this in my figure match. The referee gets knocked down, and then Randy Orton tries to go for the punt kick, as well as John Cena tried to at one point walk out of the match, which I also had in my figure match. Go watch my figure match. It's kind of cool. It's some things in there I had that didn't happen, but it's also some things I had in there that did happen. As soon as Randy Orton starts running up for the punt kick, RTruth runs in there and is begging Randy Orton not to punt John Cena, because there's that whole thing about John Cena is RTruth's childhood hero, though the whole comedy part about it is that RTruth is actually older than John Cena, right? So it's a whole comedy bit. Randy Orton's not hearing it. He hits an RKO onto RTruth. You know Randy Orton's not that type of person to hear something about, like, a match going on right now. Nobody wants to hear anything about childhood right now, right? A few minutes later, after the RKO to RTruth, John Cena was able to hit a low blow and find the title belt and get in a position for the title belt. Boom, right to the face. And that was pretty much it for that, man. It was unrealistic how the referee crawled in there at the end, the original one that got knocked out, and counted the pinfall, but that was pretty much it. John Cena retained the title again. And he got on the mic afterwards and was talking about, he said he is the last real champion. He keeps saying that. Moving on to Big Time Bex. Big Time Bex was not big time tonight because she lost. She lost to Lyra, which is kind of disappointing. Like, Becky Lynch should have got this win. She definitely tried some cheating techniques, but it still didn't work. She took the turnbuckle off, but she never got to use that. She tried holding on to the ropes. She's used that to get some pinfalls in the past to retain titles and things. But none of it worked. In the end, Becky Lynch went for a roll-up, and then Lyra was able to reverse it into, like, her own style of a roll-up. And that was pretty much it. They're probably going to have one of those kind of matches where you can't pin somebody, and it has to be a different way that you win, I'm sure. Usually, because, usually the heel complains about the face getting a roll-up win. So we'll see what happens. And of course, Becky Lynch, after the match, continued to beat up Lyra and locked in the disarmor a few minutes later. Of course, right? They have to end that way. Most of these characters, when they lose, this is what they do. Moving on. LA Knight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and Jacob Fatu. Most of the match takes place, and then Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest make their way out to the crowd, which they both crash through a table after Damian Priest choke slams Drew through the table. Okay, after that, LA Knight has Jacob Fatu set up on the announce table, which a few seconds later, Solo saves him from LA Knight jumping on the announce table. A few seconds later, someone attacks LA Knight. We don't know who it is at first. But a few seconds later, we see that it's definitely someone who's probably related to them. I know I've seen him before. I don't know, but I really feel like I've seen him before. Anyway, Jacob Fatu, he looked confused and unhappy at the same time, like he probably really didn't want to have the help. But a few minutes later, he was able to finish off LA Knight in the ring, and that was pretty much it for that. Okay, Pat McAfee versus Gunther. Gunther was pretty much in control for most of the match. Pat McAfee had a few okay moves, and he pulled out that punt that we talked about. He tried that move on Gunther. He connected with the punt, but Gunther didn't even stay down for a 1 count. It was a point where Michael Cole had got involved, and Gunther tried to powerbomb Michael Cole, but Pat was able to break that up. And it was another point where Michael Cole got involved, where he tried to hold down Gunther as well for the pinfall, but it again didn't work. Gunther locked in the sleeper hold on Pat McAfee, and that right there was pretty much it for that. That was like the ending. So, what did you guys think about some of the main moments of Backlash? Put them in the comments below. That's it for this video, peeps. Peace out, peeps.